Matt and Luke's Sci-Fi Sanctuary.
The year is 3013. The galaxy is scintillating in the mellow light. Two galactic pilgrims seek out vistas in the samurai future to bring forth the unity of the cosmic shaman. Opening the door of the pantheon of mystics, the evil sorcerer wizard powers the engine of science, seeking to forever alter the sacred balance, traveling on effervescent balls of summer fire.
This week, Serenity. The movie.
In the year 2019, two men started a Firefly podcast. Then realized they don't have much to say about Firefly. So they started a movie podcast where they want to talk about Serenity.
Is that Firefly? Is it?
Is it?
I think it is.
It is a bit.
When I said I want to do a Firefly podcast, I really just want to talk about this movie. That's the problem.
Well, we thought, here's a good idea. Let's start with a little TV series, cut our teeth, do that, then we'll move on to our sci-fi movie podcast.
But I just want to talk about this movie. Hi, I'm Matt.
I'm Luke. Welcome to our Sci-Fi Sanctuary.
Hi, I'm Shen. I sometimes talk.
She may be talking some. But we're here today to just cut to the chase, go straight to the movie.
Cut the foreplay. Let's get to the fucking. It's Serenity.
We rocked on right through that Universal logo, but where did you first see Serenity? Did you see it before Firefly or after?
I'm pretty sure I saw it before Firefly. It was in the time when I lived with my parents, and sometimes my uncle would just send us dodgy DVD copies he'd made. And I don't think we even knew it was a TV show. We were just like, oh, here's a film about spaceships, we'll watch that.
You watched it cold, that's amazing. So I heard Firefly was a thing. I think I was in Japan when it actually aired. Was it 2002?
Maybe. The film was 2005.
Oh, okay. So when the TV show was on, I was actually working like outdoors. So I was like way off the grid and stuff. I was working with hippies. But I did know enough to, this show's supposed to be good. I ordered the DVDs. I did watch the entire show before seeing the movie. And my dad and I went off to see it on opening night because I did like the show. I saw the movie. I loved it. And I think I didn't watch the show again until you and I thought about doing that as a podcast, but now we're here.
So yeah, when we were watching the show, I was watching it because it's like, okay, I need to watch it for the podcast. Watching the film has now made me actually want to go and watch the show.
But then you watch the show and you want to go to the film again.
Yeah,
That's
the film
problem.
is very good. It's what we're getting at.
It's like an endless loop.
Yeah.
It's like, this is so good, I need more, and you go and you get more, and it is good, but it's not quite the movie.
The way you described it was that to you, the TV show feels like preamble to the movie.
Yeah, it's like
the TV show is the prequel, or
it's like the couple
spin-off.
title cards you have before.
Yeah,
and then you get into it. But production-wise, this is a weird one. This is a sort of proto version of the Futurama Family Guy thing, right?
You're gonna have to explain your thought process there.
I'm just saying, when this film came out, TV shows that were dead never came back.
Right.
Maybe they came back as movies, which this one does. But it has the full DNA of the TV show. Star Trek was quite different once it made it to the movies.
Yeah. Star Trek was cancelled, and it was a long time before it came back, and B, very, like you say, very different.
But this is straight up the TV show dragged kicking and screaming to the movie screen, where it actually has a very nice time. But my point is, a few years later, you got Futurama, Family Guy, Arrested Development. They actually did come back as TV series, which was unheard of at this time. And this is on the cusp. Like a year later, we would have gotten Firefly Season 2. But as it was in 2005, we got Serenity.
I think I prefer this to what a TV show would have been.
You're probably right. I'll go on a few notes on my Season 2 of Firefly at some point. But we'll have to get in the movie before that. Anything else you want to get to about Joss Whedon's trajectory or anything? Because I honestly, I know there's something to say about it, but I don't have much to say about it.
Movie-wise, he did the first two Avengers.
This is his first directing.
Has he done anything other than those three films?
I'm not sure.
Because if those are his only 3, this is by far his best.
I'm going to have to put this in Avengers on a balancing beam, but sure.
I love Avengers up till the last 20 minutes. And then it is just... Once they are the Avengers, they're just walking through paper enemies, and it just loses all tension and excitement. And
You're
drama.
right, but I fanboyed through that. But this movie doesn't make you fanboy through all of it, so
No, exactly.
Your point is taken.
I also fanboyed for Avengers the first. I think I screamed in the cinema, which you don't do in the UK. But this film, on a second watch, works as a film in a way that Avengers I don't think is great cinema.
I screamed in Spider-Man Far From Home, though, and you told me to shut up.
It's because you were very drunk. And we were in Japan. And if people don't talk in the cinema in the UK, they really don't in Japan. I get dirty looks for laughing at the jokes in films.
Anyway, we'll MCU it at some point, but we're going to go a little more old school Joss Whedon, and let's talk about the plot of this movie. Serenity! That wasn't an intentional fuck up, by the way. That wasn't clear? You thought it was a real fuck up?
Yeah.
Oh, that was I did that fully intentionally.
Sure, okay, yeah, right.
You can believe me or not, but I know what the truth is. The future. Humanity has left our dying Earth to inhabit a new solar system with many habitable planets and moons. And on one of these, River Tam is being mind-controlled through scientific hullabaloo until her brother shows up under cover of a big shot to break her out. But all of this is a past illusion, perused by an operative of the Alliance, who wants to bring River back in. Meanwhile, that old ship from the TV show Firefly, named Serenity, is flying on most of its cylinders under the supervision of Captain Mal Reynolds. This crew of rascals is hired for a bank heist and has decided to bring River along, now part of its crew, with her brother. Good thing they brought her along, as the cannibalistic Reavers decide to make a visit into this bank heist. Serenity's crew try to save as many as they can, but Mal has to shoot a man in cold blood, and they do not get their bounty. It's time for River and her brother Doc to leave the crew while Serenity works out their next job. Things seem fine and dandy, until River gets MK Ultra triggered and goes full Matrix. Yes, it's time to find a safe harbor. They find that at Haven and get to hang out with series regular Shepard Brock as Serenity's crew searches for the truth. In the meantime, creepy hacker Mr. Universe spells out the situation with him. River's proximity to higher-up officials in the Alliance means that she has knowledge of all the horrible conspiracies that government has been involved in, especially Miranda. And that Alliance has done everything it can to give Serenity grief, including blowing holes into Shepard Brooks' Haven and anything else that looks like a place Serenity may fly to. There is no more Haven, as Book spits out blood in his death rattle. Captain Mal has had enough. Serenity is going to glue a bunch of dead bodies and war paint onto its hull to fool those cannibalistic Reavers. That's because they'll be close as they fly through Reaver territory to reach the planet Miranda, which they now know is a planet that is not on the map. And why is it not on the map? We'll find out when we get there. What is there? Mostly people who died of chemically induced boredom, but not that 10% who went nuts and became cannibalistic Reavers. There's only one way to get that truth out, and that's through the network of that aforementioned rapscallion hacker, Mr. Universe. Well, the Alliance is not going to make reaching Mr. Universe easy. Not with the fleet of indiscriminate Reavers that just followed the Serenity in hot pursuit. Through a wild battle, Serenity makes it to the surface of Mr. Universe's planet without anyone following them down. But upon landing, a metal spike has it in for our beloved pilot, Wash. The washless crew prepares to go colonial marine on the approaching Reavers, while Mal goes down to have a chat with Mr. Universe. But he cannot have that chat, as the Alliance operative has already landed, killed Mr. Universe, and brought a sword into a knife fight. Lots of violent hijinks ensue, but the besieged upper crew hold the line against the Reavers, especially at the point when River bounces into a group of Reavers as a fully loaded Matrix ass-kicker. At the same time, the operative pummels Mal until he doesn't, which gives Mal the chance to intergalactically send out all the information regarding Miranda and the Reavers. In the end, it turns out even the operative gets it, as he scurries off to whatever further adventures an elite on the run may have. Serenity flies off with its new pilot River to all those amazing planets and situations which we wished we had seen in Season 2 of Firefly. I didn't even realize how plot heavy this thing was. Not even writing my summary until I had to read the summary.
If you were to describe the Reavers in one word, what would it be?
It seems cannibalistic.
I thought it might be that, yeah.
I did that 3 times?
Yeah. I saw you did it once at two ends of the same sentence.
Well, it's because, there's the Reavers from X-Men. They don't eat people.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anything entertaining, amusing, something askew from the series that you want to point out here?
I think I spotted in your notes, you said, you know what would make a good pilot? This.
Yeah, I think you and I argued in our unfortunately deleted Bite Me episode with the train job that you thought that was a better intro than the pilot. And I was I just don't see that. Now, here in the movie, they do it even shorter and even better.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm going to go ahead and agree.
Yeah, I think because everything had to fit in the space of a movie, forced Joss Whedon to be economical, and you just very quickly, all the characters are introduced, the ship is introduced, the situation is introduced, just with 1 or 2 lines from each person, bang, done.
I mean,
much better.
Yeah, they had a few, Inara wasn't there, Shepard wasn't there, so there's a fewer people you have to do that with, but still, very efficient. Slow clap.
It's going to be horrible for anyone listening, Matt.
Especially on headphones, sorry. Yeah. We start this movie off in River's classroom.
Did this classroom exist?
I don't know. It existed for me, and it existed in a obscure musical called Lost Horizon. Great book, great movie from the 30s. Terrible music from the 70s with fantastic score by Burt Bacharach. But the idea was there was these enlightened people who would, teach their children and raise them as an elite, amazing, wunderkind. So I sort of caught that vibe here.
Yeah, also there's the weird learning pods from the 2009 Star Trek that the Vulcans are in.
Oh, those are cool. I want to get in one of those.
I always think of those when the kids at work are sat doing those weird math programs on the iPads.
That's right, but I hope if I am in one of those weird pods not to get instantly ripped out into a experimental mind control experiment.
Yes, so then I
want to rephrase that. Experimental mind control fiasco.
Okay, there you go. Not a cannibalistic mind control cannibal.
There's no cannibals here. That comes later. Here we're in a fiasco.
So when the TV show, when Simon was like describing rescuing River, I didn't get the impression that he did it himself, like a kind of action man. I just imagined he like sat on the spaceship while some mercenaries did it for him, sort of thing.
No, I liked seeing him.
I liked it.
I got the same impression, but I did like seeing him hands-on.
Yeah.
I also noticed in the foray that follows, River got like this little blood splotch on her third eye or bendy dot, and I just wondered if they were going for a bit of symbolism there.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Also, they were sticking it right through her skull. Like, damn.
Hey, the direct method.
Yeah, okay.
Matrix goes through, that whatever is in the back of your neck.
Yeah, your little USB
hey,
port.
Just take the straight in shot. That's cool. The whole escape did make me think a little bit of the Fifth Element.
Okay.
Just the, I don't know, sci-fi run and then the, super evolved cityscape.
Yeah, kind of.
Dropping through large drops. I was waiting for you to give me a better word there, but you didn't.
Tubes?
Yeah. the hyper tube. Falling through the hyper tube. There we go.
Okay, then.
But yeah, all of this is just VR being watched by the operative, a new character. Do you want to comment on our new character?
He is a pretty perfect foil for Mao, I thought. Because you got the rough and ready cowboy, fast talking, fast shooting action guy, and then he's so calm and collected and soft spoken.
It's kind of like Mao, like he knows exactly what he is, but he doesn't want to be it. Where the operative knows what to be, but he doesn't know what he is.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just to I hope that supports your
yeah,
foil
because they
concept.
kind of both go on the arc of, by the end, Mao has accepted that he should be this person and do something heroic. Decided that he doesn't want to be the kind of hero he thought he was.
Jumping way to the end of my notes, let's just say at the end of the movie, him and Mao have a conversation. I was like, man, what if the operative just climbed aboard and was like your replacement for Wash in season 2?
That would have been... I could have actually have imagined that happening if this was a TV
That could have rolled.
series.
That
Yeah.
could have rolled. The point is that we don't just get a generic mustache-twirling bad guy in this movie. We get a really good villain.
But that was one thing that I said about the TV series as well. They never, even though the Alliance did some bad shit, they never were like, here are bad guys.
But this guy does the worst shit. You
And
want to
yet,
get...
somehow still seems like he doesn't think he's a bad guy.
He redefines the murder-suicide, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, there is that one point where he does say that, what was it?
He says, I am a monster.
Yeah, he says he understands he is a monster and he is not the hero. But at the same time, I don't think he really understands that he's not working for the good side.
Yeah, in his head, he's doing terrible things for a good cause. And then I guess what he has to learn is that the cause he's fighting for is not all that good.
Exactly. But, yeah, anyway, I just wanted to bring up that murder-suicide because that is the most cold-blooded thing I've seen in a movie. You can release a few rounds into someone's chest. You can convince him of the truth. But this guy's just like, whack, here's your pressure point. I'm in control. You're about to kill yourself.
Yep. But, like, again, it works because you know that in his head he's doing something good for them.
This
He's
is a
there,
good
like,
death.
Yeah.
It's like an inspirational murder speech.
Yeah. And yeah, I was... So, this actor, been in all kinds of good shit. He was Mordo in Doctor Strange.
Okay, hit me up because I was thinking this while watching it. I didn't bother to look it up, even though I
Main
definitely...
dude in 12 Years a Slave.
Okay.
He was in all-time masterpiece 2012.
I think that is an all-time masterpiece. It does suck, but I love it.
Yeah, he was in Love Actually, I think. I'm forgetting all the good films he was in now.
That's a
I'm just
long time
saying he
ago.
was in lots of good stuff. But yeah, the main thing I recognised him from when I was watching it was Doctor Strange.
Okay, yeah, okay. I definitely saw his face. I'm like, didn't quite make the connection, but...
Oh, he also was a voice in Romeo and Juliet. Only
said
the
you're
dumb
gonna.
ones have stood out to
You
me.
said you're gonna try and get us something good here. But let's move on to our rollicking Serenity. We just got to say Serenity now. It's a Firefly class ship, but we're not going to speak that word.
Nope. Do they?
I'm
film?
thinking they don't.
I don't
but,
remember hearing it.
I think maybe one of the cops says like, "Oh, they're in a Firefly class," blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, not much.
But they're rolling on down to the planet for an old school train heist.
So this is the bit we were referring to just now when we talked about a pilot.
Yeah.
Just bang in. Here's the crew. They're on an adventure.
And it's a very clear one. They're making a bank heist to make some money.
Yep. But then, even as they're doing that, you get little character moments. They're not all bad.
I might have. We crashing again? That's a good one. Oh, the steampunk goggles.
Yes.
I clapped again. Sorry, everyone with headphones. Steampunk goggles. Is Serenity an airship?
Sometimes.
Is it steampunk?
No.
No, it has the goggles, but Serenity's not steampunk. You gotta have a sail on your airship.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you also got to have steam.
No, you just need a sail, I think.
Okay, you don't need steam.
But they don't have a sail, so they are taking River down, who goes the most river she's ever gone down on the planet.
This is very, again, watching the TV show, you expect more of this, but it's all in the film.
Which is why the the TV show is rather prologue to me.
What are you referring to when you say she goes very river?
She has her insight. She's the one that is a advance alert for the Reavers.
Yeah, she spots the guy pulling out the gun,
She's never that lucid in the TV show.
and then she knows the Reavers are coming. Yeah. Well, but they make a point. This is their first time bringing her on a job.
Right.
So this presumably is the first time that she's been lucid enough that they think they can actually use her abilities.
But let me just on a side, I want to get into my fashion police. We're gonna do Logan's Run soon, and Doc has switched from his Han Solo vest to a Sandman Logan's Run sort of vibe.
I was watching the film thinking Matt is going to comment on the Doc's outfit, so I'm very glad.
Yes, of course you know this. Now, did we also note on the fact that River doesn't wear shoes for the first half here?
Yes.
She's gonna get glass in her feet. She's strolling through a bar.
I immediately just turned to Shen like, so here immediately is very long fetishy shot of the feet of a character who is supposedly 17.
Get her some Birkenstocks. You can still see the feet.
Like last time it was a full naked body shot when she was supposed to be like 16, so...
Joss Whedon is maturing. slowly.
Is he? It's a bit of the, I'm getting older but they're staying the same age.
Hey, there's no feet in Avengers, I think.
Yeah, there is. There's a whole bit with Black Widow.
I haven't watched it for a while, and I was about to say, I was going to ask you, am I wrong about Black Widow? So
Yeah.
you just answered that
I'm pretty
for me.
sure she's barefoot in that bit where she's being interrogated and she escapes. Because that was when I first found people mentioning the whole Joss Whedon feet thing.
But yeah, on the planet, we're getting into some real danger. This movie gets into some real danger that the show does not. The stakes did not go this high for the most part.
Do we ever see the Reavers attack somewhere?
There are
We sort of see their ships and they escape, stuff like that.
There's one we obviously didn't watch the whole show because we're here, but I believe there is one legitimate Reaver boarding in the
Right.
show, but still just not with the cinematic qualities we get here.
Yeah. They're pretty scary. And again, we get to see our crew being a bit more heroic than the pure criminals they appear to be.
And I still want to say stay superficial here. So shall we just move on with cinematically heightened things from the TV show?
Everything does look a lot better, obviously.
Oh yeah, that. I know in the few episodes we did with the TV show, I kept trying to scream "MK awesome" at you.
Yes.
And this movie
it actually makes sense now.
That's the thing. I wanted the movie. We're talking about the show. I'm like, let's cut ahead. Let's get straight to the movie. But here we get that full-on trippy mind control vibe.
Yeah. We get loads of it. We get trigger words and shut down and all of this stuff.
Was it J-pop or I guess it was Mandarin pop that got her going.
Yeah, it was. It reminded me of when you see an Asian advert in like The Simpsons or Futurama.
Oh, Mr. Bubble. Yes.
Yeah.
I might still have it in America. I think I have a Mr. Bubble T-shirt.
That's pretty dope.
I almost wore Fing Fang Foom today, but I wanted to match my socks with my shirt. So.
Yeah, it's an audio medium anyway, so...
It is. You don't care, but I wanted to wear my Fing Fam Boom t-shirt.
So, I thought you said, I wonder where, but I was like, didn't you just buy that?
I wanted. I did.
Yeah.
I bought it last week. Okay. Other heightened things. Just all we get River's mind a lot more. That's what we never got in the TV show. We never actually got insight into what's going on in
Yeah,
her
it was
mind.
all just her expression. It was all just...
It's all
the
by
actress.
inference.
Yeah.
Here, they send you straight in several times.
She's almost, for a lot of it, the point of view character.
Yeah? Okay.
I would say for the first half it's her and the second half it's Mal.
Okay. I still... I'm going to go Mal with the whole thing, but
Because
I see
even
what
in
you're saying.
earlier scenes when he's trying to ditch them, you're mostly looking at sort of River's reaction rather than Mal actually doing it.
Yeah? And she did swallow that bug.
She did swallow a bug.
Yeah. Just I made a note, so... I swallowed a bug today. There were lots of bugs. I went hiking today and there were lots of bugs on the mountain, and I think I swallowed a bug too.
I haven't swallowed one for a while, but
You're lucky.
I did get really spooked by a spider the other day.
All right.
And then it accidentally killed itself.
I got more in the ear. Not spiders, bugs, but...
I was vacuuming and it just slowly walked up to the vacuum until it got sucked in.
But you want to know the one thing that did really bug me is...
Oh, nice segue.
I hate jump cuts. River's memories and mind trips have jump cuts galore, and I hate jump cuts. You and I were talking about doing a Halloween episode, and you say Alien. I agreed with you at the end, but I pushed Event Horizon. And one of the main reasons I didn't is because I hate jump cuts.
Is it because they make you jump or just because you think they're cheap?
Both.
Okay.
They make me jump, and then I think they're cheap.
But there's two ways in a film you can show mind control. Jump cuts or wavy picture-in-picture stuff.
That's a Zoolander approach. We're going to
Yeah.
call that the Zoolander approach. I love the Zoolander approach.
I love it too, but it doesn't really work in serious films anymore.
I want to move on to through their journey. Do you want to talk about dead people on the ship, hanging out on Miranda, or Mr. Universe?
I think we should talk about, the guest cast first. So,
Okay.
Mr. Universe, and in a way, Shepherd Bush and Inara in this kind of feel...
Like cameos?
Yeah,
I finished your sentence.
Bush especially.
Yeah.
But that kind of works, because like you said, at the start, it's like, in the TV show, they had to introduce all of these regulars. Whereas because the film is a one-off thing, they can treat him as a character who's on this planet and this plot point, and doesn't have to be arbitrarily dragged around with the others.
Right. And he had, what, was he on screen for 3 minutes?
Yeah, but it worked. He was
Oh, he
felt
had
like a big
super
role.
impact. He spit blood, made a death rattle, all of that.
Yeah, he got to Obi-Wan very well for us.
He went down more like a bitch, though, didn't he?
Yeah, but what I mean is we got
I'm just saying,
we got the scene of him giving some advice, then he's dead to give them some impetus.
Yeah, I'm just saying Obi-Wan chose his fate.
Oh, I
Took
thought
it.
you were... Okay, yeah. Wait, which one's the bitch?
Book.
Okay.
Because he got a blaster. Where Obi-Wan was doing fine against Vader and just quit.
We've called him 3 different names, because you called him Brock in your intro.
Oops.
I've been calling him Bush.
He's Book.
It's Book.
He's
I
a
was
book.
trying to figure out who you guys were talking
Read the
about.
book. Read the book, man.
Right.
Watch the
Subtle.
movie. Read the book. Okay, I'm going to go back and not edit all of those references in the book.
No, I know.
Or, here we go.
It's fine, just leave this bit.
I got it. Book.
Book.
I'll put one of those in the past, but you know what, I'm not going to. It's all shits and giggles.
So anyway, Shepard Bart is...
I love it. If the actor's alive, I love you. If he's not, I still love you. You did a great job. Sorry, we're screwing your name up.
fairly sure he is in fact dead, so this just became very disrespectful.
Into the Afterlife, man, you did a fantastic job. It was recent too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like I saw the news. Okay.
R.I.P.
Anyway, all the tomfoolery is us. He did a great job in this movie and the TV show.
Yeah, and I think any more of that character, if he had been on the ship the whole time or anything, would have felt superfluous.
Yeah.
His role here worked really well.
Inara, though, she did stuff in the TV show from time to time. Here, she's basically almost a damsel in distress. She's got smart. She sends code, right? But
Yeah,
she doesn't do that much.
If she just had that bit and either they'd not gone to rescue her because they'd understood the code, or they'd had the little confrontation and left, it's fine. But after that scene, she's then on the ship and does nothing for the rest of the film.
Yeah, she's just there.
To me, she just feels like the love interest that just needs to be in the film.
But she wasn't quite a love interest in... I mean, she was, but she wasn't in the TV show.
Though
Yeah.
I guess what Shen... You just mean like someone at the studio is like, no, there needs to be a love interest because that's what
Yeah,
people want to see in their
that's what
films,
I mean.
right?
Like, it felt like that to me for this film.
I can see that.
But I feel like it would have worked better if she'd had about as much time as Hasbrook.
Yeah.
If he'd seen her on the planet, and then not taken her with him. Because in the TV show, she had a character.
Right.
Well, you don't really see any of it in this.
So, again, we're going to call this a great movie, but they did drop the ball a bit with her.
Well, I guess the problem is she's there because this is a sequel to the TV show. She doesn't really have a role in this movie. That's fine if it's a TV show and there can be episodes where she doesn't have a big role.
Well,
But she feels shoehorned in here.
She gives the code to Mal, who shows up, hearing the code and getting the information from the operative, which, helps them get to go on their next step.
For that scene, she has a point in the plot. But
So Inara pushes them along plot-wise, where Bushki pushes them along, like, philosophically.
Yeah, he's there for character purposes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm complaining. I don't have a problem with her role in the film, I guess. I just...
So, do you want to talk about Wash with a joke in the back of your mind, or seriously?
Seriously, actually. Because me and you have talked before about Wash's death. And I remembered from my first time watching this film that it felt pointless and gratuitous.
Okay.
Actually watching it this time and seeing... I think I'd imagined it coming later in the film than it does. It actually makes perfect sense because you then have the whole siege and you feel like one of them can die.
Yeah. Well, I guess the whole point is, if you want to get in deeper, I want to get into the more serious point at this point.
Go on.
Are you down for that?
Always down for that.
You want to hear some music?
Makes sense.
Okay, here it goes. Okay, we're going to get deeper into this flick now, and I guess Wash is the key, because he was our fun-loving favorite dude on a TV show. He's our fun-loving favorite dude, on the side of this thing, until he takes a spike through the chest.
Yep. That's how you create drama. You kill comedy.
But, most things don't do this. I mean, you bring back an IP, a property, you don't just, so undramatically just off here one of your main characters. I'm not saying it's not effective here. I'm just saying people didn't do it before this.
Yeah. I mean, not just things that are existing IPs. Generally, it didn't happen. Death scenes were big old death scenes.
We want to talk X-Men. Let's go Dark Phoenix, not the movie, with the comic book. Jean Grey seems to be dead. She's got these new powers. You go through a few adventures, and she gets creepy, and then it turns into this thing and she dies. There was a 3-year build-up there.
Yes.
Here, Wash is happy, good. He's going to pilot. He's a master. He's going to show the best of his skills. He does that, and then he takes a spike through the chest.
I guess, in a sense, he got his big moment.
He did.
Right before his death.
He did his thing. He showed that he
Yeah.
is a master pilot.
Yes. But then, it's a very sudden, and for that reason, more affecting death.
And I also want to get into, he's obviously, kind of Mal's buddy, but he's not his blood mate. He didn't fight with him.
He wasn't in the war, which
Right.
seems to be...
Yeah.
Well,
Same
the
one.
only one who is Zoe, right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, and there's obviously... She's the only one who's ever allowed to talk back to him. Through both the film and the series.
Right.
She gets away with what no one else does.
In the end, this is affecting her. This is killing. When
Right.
she has to
Yes.
be the shield for Mal, she's being wounded at her worst.
Yes. So yeah, she's the one who is a character. Wash is
A tool.
a tool to give her character development. Which, to be fair, usually it's the other way around in a male-female relationship.
Especially with Joss Whedon.
Yes.
So...
I mean, he's not quite Christopher Nolan. But
No, but I guess it was nice, not nice, but insightful for him, because let's look at it. What if Zoe had taken the spike through the chest and Wash had to
have a big
be a man? Does that
Yeah.
make that what does that make? That makes a worse movie.
Yeah, it makes a very generic movie in a way.
Yeah, so let's look, because everyone hates the fact that Wash got killed. Everyone loves him.
Yes, but again, watching it last night, it made so much sense in a film.
I put in my notes, though, what has Alan Tudyk done since? I mean, he's done stuff, right?
Transformers 3.
There we go, there's one. Is that it?
Yeah, that's
That's
the
it?
one I remember.
Crap, I was kind of hoping you were going to bounce me to a more positive place, because I feel like I've seen him in something groovy.
Probably. Oh, he was... I don't know if this is before or after. He's in Dodgeball.
I like
He's Pirate
Dodgeball.
Steve.
I do like Dodgeball. I was trying
I
to...
guess he generally does do more comedy roles.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
He's good. I think he's done some voice acting of note.
Yeah, because I do see his name around,
Yeah.
but I can't remember what it is.
Anyway, the point being, Wash actually is the best person on the crew to off, even though nobody likes it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Kaylee comes across too derpy in this movie.
She's pretty one note.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like she's here because she was in the show, like
Yeah.
Inara. She gets a little more due because she's the engineer, but
Well,
not
and
much.
we get the conclusion to sort of the... Over the show, there was the tease of the relationship between her and Simon.
Well, she just wants to get something twixt her nethers.
Yeah, but, can't blame her for that. But yeah, that's a payoff of something which
Was
has
that
been
lie
set
in the
up.
show?
That's in the film.
It's in the film, I know. Is it in the show?
I don't know.
Because it's definitely stuck in my mind from 2005.
It seems like everything's stuck in your mind from the film because you don't remember anything from the show.
That's why we're doing a sci-fi sanctuary here.
Yeah.
So now let's look at the creation of the Reavers, because that is the most serious element in this film.
So if we're taking... Obviously, Firefly is a Wild West set in space. And you've got... Obviously, there's the Civil War parallel in the war with the Browncoats being the South and what have you. The only way the Reavers fit into that is they're the Native Americans. Which
not
at first is...
sure.
You think, that's shitty. But then the twist here is the only reason they're like that is because they were fucked over by the Alliance. Which kind of is... If they are filling that role in the Western, tropes, then it's saying, any monstrousness or villainousness that people saw in native peoples was only because they'd been fucked over by the Europeans.
I have a slightly different view. Now, I do dig yours. I'm thinking about it. But I've been hardcoring Asimov recently.
Okay.
So I get the foundation and the Galactic Empire where all these worlds are colonized. Sort of like it's clear that the Serenity universe has, Firefly universe, whatever you want to call it, has at least completely colonized a new solar system.
Yes.
And this movie actually says it's a solar system, which
Yeah,
I
we
think
talked about before.
we
You
did, and
weren't
I think it's
sure.
because of the movie, but it makes a whole lot more sense if they're in several. But the
Just
point
a
is,
real big solar system.
yeah, a real big one.
Well,
The
no,
po-
I think most of them are not planets, they're moons, right? Because you said it has many moons.
Right, but there are some planets. But
Okay.
anyway, the point is, in Asimov, humanity is stretched out, actually forgotten about Earth, like in this universe, but has colonized like 50 million worlds or something.
Yeah.
Something insane. And many of them occasionally drift off the map, get forgotten about. And I feel like Miranda fits in that thing. Like maybe the Alliance government sort of discovered it as a failure, something to be forgotten about. Like there would be other forgotten colonies. It's not just Miranda. It's just the fact that Miranda created this lethal force.
I think the difference is the smaller scale, though.
That may
If there
be a
is
good
only
point.
20 odd planets.
Yeah, hit me on the 20 planet theory.
Well, I don't know the number, but they're saying a solar system, right?
Yeah,
so it's
they
not
do say
that
that.
many planets that you can just lose one.
It's much more of a conspiracy in that case.
Yeah. They didn't lose Miranda down the back of the sofa. They hid it.
Here's the thing though, Miranda is kind of out of nowhere in this movie, right? But in the context of the series, it reads true in every respect. It's like a conspiracy theory that does pan out.
Right.
They didn't even have the conspiracy in the TV show. They have in this movie. But even with the context of the TV show, it all pans out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm willing to give Joss Whedon the credit that most of what is revealed or happens here was in his head when he started the TV show. And rather than doing it over several seasons, he's had to cram it all into a movie.
But if he worked out here, it's pretty
might
genius.
Have been for the best.
I think he worked out here, to be perfectly honest, which
Well, I
is
haven't
some
told
smart
you my
writing.
idea if I ever become a big fantasy or sci-fi writer.
Yeah?
Before I write my final book, I'll just go online and find all the fan theories. Pick my favorite one.
Isn't that what George Martin's doing?
Probably.
Wait, George R.R. Martin?
George R.
Sorry, I'm too much of a Beatles fan. I hit the
George
wrong
Bush
name.
Book Martin.
Yeah. I own a copy of John Lennon's Guitar Man. I'm going to say George Martin before anything else.
Okay. Although, just to go back to Miranda for a second, it did the dumbest sci-fi thing where it imagined like solar systems are a flat plane,
They are.
but they could just go down, under, and up again. They don't have to go through the little reefer space.
That is true. Okay.
That's the whole reason.
I'll go right back to Asimov. When they go to a new solar system, they fly above the plane, check it out, and then decide where they need to go. So maybe Serenity should have done that.
I mean, did they not watch Wrath of Khan?
No, they lost it. Things are lost in this universe.
yeah,
They got Chinese.
That was Lost on Earth.
They got Chinese. They don't have the Wrath of Khan.
Okay.
They don't have those awesome wrist communicators.
No. They have. There's a lot of tech they don't have, but that's just sci-fi.
That's one they should have gotten.
Yeah.
But I do want to just dig a bit more into here and look at what the Alliance is. This movie, the Alliance does some pretty raw things. We see it.
Yes.
But are they doing a force for progression, for evolution, or are they a caustic, acidic being?
It
Should, like, is it, like, do people need to know all of the truth? Is Miranda something people should actually not know? Because now they do.
Well, obviously, Mal's argument was they will try it again.
That's my argument, too.
Yeah.
I'm just, like, saying, like, in general, this universe seems, you know, Mal, maybe he's not doing so well, but okay, 80% of this universe is doing well, and 20% is doing horribly and living in communes like Haven.
Yeah, we don't see huge amounts of... I mean, we see people suffering, but they're suffering because, you know, they're struggling to get by. We don't see, like, boots stomping and...
The Alliance does not not brown coat, does not brown shirt, which is the SS version.
Yeah, we don't see any of that. So it's bringing down the Alliance, which is trying to, for the most part, help people, isn't like inherently stopping an evil empire sort of victory.
But the Alliance still does some horrible things, right?
Right.
So,
but
is it justified? I'm going to say no, because
I'm not saying their specific actions are justified, but it never gives a compelling argument for why there shouldn't be an alliance.
So they would say the ends justify the means, whereas our buddies on Serenity would suggest that's not the case. But they go do crimes because they need to make money.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's very... I'm definitely all for transparency, so I do think Mal was right in this film.
No, of course, we want to associate with that point of view.
But it doesn't mean that I think he was right to volunteer on the side of the war he did.
But are you too sentimental? Am I too sentimental? Is he too sentimental?
Is sentimental bad?
I'm going to say no, because I think at the base, you don't do bad to another person.
Yeah.
Which almost sound like a Mal line.
Yeah.
You don't do bad to me and mine.
That's definitely some Buffy right in there. Just
No,
no
I
do
mean,
bad thing.
No, that's how we roll, and that's how I think people should roll. But you and I are living as, you know, individual people. Does that change when we get to large amounts of people, or do we keep our morals in any case? That is the Mal versus Alliance vibration here.
It's the classic Stalin line, right?
Yeah.
One death is a tragedy. 1 million is a statistic.
Right. So you and I are with Mal, but maybe we shouldn't be. I don't know. Come make us. What's the word I'm looking for? Overly.
Reflect.
Not reflective. Reflective.
Over-examine.
Not over-examining. That can lead to good. I don't know.
Overdose?
Are we bleeding hearts or are we not? I don't know. But I guess we're assuming we're bleeding hearts here.
Yeah, we're sissy liberal globalist cucks.
One thing I really noticed is that with Firefly, one of the main themes was the freedom of the crew being free to do what they want. And in Serenity, I noticed it wasn't such a big thing. Like, there was the freedom to, like, stay away, like, freedom as in, like, staying away from authority because they're running from them, but not necessarily the freedom to just be their own people and explore space and do what they want.
Yeah, they didn't have... Maybe it's just because for the whole film, stakes are high.
Yeah.
But there was never the happy-go-lucky... You never saw what they were fighting for.
Yeah.
They were fighting for this vague concept of freedom, and that was enough. Didn't have to see the life they wanted.
And that's one of the things that mainly stood out to me in this movie compared to Firefly, the TV show.
Which do you prefer?
I like them both, but I prefer the TV show.
Actually, because me and Matt are definitely in the we prefer the movie camp. But I need to finish watching the TV show again.
I need to watch it again.
It's been years.
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
This is the end game. The end game about Serenity.
Actually, he didn't get to direct Endgame. He just did the first two.
I just wanted to say Endgame, that's all. I know that. I before we go full on, I just wanted to get through the notes I saw where River does occasionally get her Doc Martens.
Yes,
Marten
they're pretty
boots. Yeah, that's cool. So, that might be all of it. That's actually all I want to get to. The other one I didn't want to get to. So, yeah. She got some shoes in the end. In the end game.
Yep. I mean... No, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and try and make a argument that boots are just as bad as bare feet.
Are they not Doc Martens?
No. I was going to try and be like, yeah, but in a way, putting her in Doc Martens is just as fetishizing as putting her bare feet. I was just going to be a douche.
There's glass on the street, man.
I'm not saying I believe what I was saying. I just like saying these things.
Right. You need a good pair of shoes.
No, what I need is someone here who gets annoyed when I say these things. I know that you know what I'm doing.
I always bought Converse myself. I didn't buy a Doc Martens.
I love some Doc Martens, but they're overpriced. You can
they
get
are.
good
That's why I
boots
bought the
for much
Converse.
cheaper.
The Converse are overpriced in Japan, though.
If you're wearing Converse, they're not even going to help when you step on glass.
Well, it's a little rubber between you and your flesh.
There's actually cardboard in there.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's good River got her Doc Martens. So, yeah. Anyway, this movie's 2005. We're here in 2019. I'm going to say it's holding up pretty well.
Yeah, very much. So, since Firefly, or Serenity even, has there been another good new space opera?
How do we rate Battlestar here? Is it same time? Is it later? About the same? I mean, it's technically later.
Similar.
It's similar.
But also, is it new? I know it's very different.
Because they did the old
Battlestar.
property, right?
Yeah.
I would say they put enough new into their concept that we're going to count that as new. But it did start about this time. And it didn't really change gears in that time except for a few, Indian drones and, metaphysical concepts. But
So, yeah, I mean, but since then, maybe Battlestar, but we've had new Star Treks, new Star Warses.
I love the new Star Trek, new Star Wars, but they didn't break new ground, did they?
Yeah, where's the new space stuff?
Did you watch The Expanse?
No, I haven't, and I've heard that's good.
I haven't either, and I'm bringing it up for that point.
Our colleague Rob is... Okay. In cinema, when was the last good new space thing?
Interstellar.
Yeah, but that's very... only just removed from modern day, right? It's very NASA, very...
It is, but...
I wouldn't call it a space opera.
I gotta call that a space opera.
Yeah?
But it is riffing off 2001. We're gonna give it that.
And it's like one spaceship in the whole film.
And I'm not trying to pull you off of Serenity being a full-on, awesome, innovative space opera.
Could you imagine the Interstellar expanded universe?
Okay, you gotta say.
I love Interstellar, but it doesn't stand next to Star Trek, Star Wars.
You want to make a universe out of it.
Yeah, whereas I feel Firefly does have that.
Yeah.
It builds a very good world.
Okay, so...
Other than that, I think... Yeah, so books and TV, you've got Expanse and stuff. Video games do it.
Did MCU build enough? It's got
you got
galactic
Guardians
stuff now.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess that is where it is now,
We got the Kree, we got the Skrull showing up.
I guess that is where the current new space opera is happening, isn't it?
But it has no hard sci-fi.
Yeah.
Serenity's not quite hard sci-fi, but it's enough that you at least can think about it. Whereas MCU is definitely not hard sci-fi.
Well, yeah, I would say Firefly, in terms of its sci-fi, leans more Trek, and MCU definitely means more Wars.
Yeah. So I guess we're calling this a really great movie and just trying to weigh its cultural value at this point.
Oh, I mean, it was definitely a springboard for Joss Whedon.
Oh, yeah.
Who went on to do, he did Avengers, the biggest film in the world at the time it came out.
As J.J. Abrams did Star Trek as his demo reel for Star Wars, I assume that Joss Whedon did this as his demo reel for Avengers, although there are enough years in the interim
there's
that
a big
wasn't...
old gap. It was like 2011?
Yeah, that's right. It's 12, I think. But it's not straight like bang, bang. Abrams sort of was like bang, bang. Trek,
Yes.
Star Wars. Whereas, but the people that hired him to do Avengers were definitely looking at this.
Yes.
And
it brings together an existing cast, introduces them very quickly, gives everyone at least some small journey to go on. It brings them together for a big battle at the end, which is all the things they wanted from an Avengers movie. You've got to bring these characters who already exist, introduce them for a new audience just in case, give them a journey, bring them together for a battle at the end.
Well, you made a better case than I was going to.
What was yours going to be?
Something more incoherent?
That's what we come to you for, Matt.
That's right. So I guess we're wrapping up because, before we get quite to that, are there any messages in this film worth noting?
One thing I noticed, it pretty much drops the South Will Rise message from the TV show. I know, obviously, it doesn't remove that backstory.
In my notes,
it feels much more like we're fighting the power in a more modern way.
Just the power, like the oppression.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there were two sides anymore.
Okay.
It feels like, this is the power, and we're the plucky rebels.
Okay, because somewhere in my notes I did write at least once more, yeehaw, the South will rise again.
Oh, of course, they are Southern voiced characters, but it doesn't have that Civil War vibe so much anymore.
So the movie makes it more universal.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I like it better. It doesn't... There's nothing wrong with Westerns, but I'm not into Westerns, and Firefly was pushing the Western.
When I'm into Westerns is when they go really hard into Westerns. I want all the cheesy lines. I want the showdown with the music. I want the tumbleweed. I want the hard tough guy.
Sergio Leone.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're not giving me that, don't bother giving me a Western.
Running way off the topic, how do you feel about The Unforgiven?
Which one's this?
Clint Eastwood directed, starred.
Oh, was his first directed?
It might be.
Well, when did it come out? Is it
91 maybe?
Yeah.
I don't like Westerns, but I do like that, and that has none of the things you just said.
But I watched that because I like Clint Eastwood directed movies.
So Clint's doing it for me, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Because I on the surface I was like, yeah, that sounds right. But I was like, wow, I like The Unforgiven.
I mean, if in this millennium you're going to bring out a Western, you've got to either have a lot to say, or just give me the cheese.
I think the only Western I've seen in this century has been Django Unchained.
The only one I've seen is the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. So.
Anyway, Serenity has dropped most of the Western and this is definitely a way more sci-fi thing than I think Firefly ever did.
It kind of proves that Firefly was just doing it for budgetary reasons then.
Yeah, it's probably true. Okay, I think we're wrapping up here, so do you want to rap about any social media sort of connections?
I mean, you can find us on Twitter at MLSFS4. Yes. You can find me on Twitter at Buskalily. It's a nonsense word. I made it up when I was a child. I still shout it sometimes. Matt's not on social media because he's old.
I'm on social media. I just don't feel like talking about it.
He just lurks.
He
just likes female actresses' pictures.
rovingsagemedia.bandcamp.com. I make music, and that's what I want you to hear. And I want you to hear this too, but...
They kind of already have at this point.
I blast this podcast with that music, yes.
No, but I mean, they've heard this.
Right.
What if they fast forwarded to this bit? What a weird thing to do. I don't want to hear the podcast. I just want to hear the plugs at the end.
All right. Plugs. Some people with the plugs at the beginning, they might get confused.
Yeah, people who put the plugs at the beginning should be lined up against a wall and shot.
Yeah. When Boner Pill sponsor us, we'll put it at the beginning.
Speaking of which, Matt, do you need a new mattress?
Probably.
I do. It's sat on what I sleep on, and it's a tiny little futon.
And with no endorsements whatsoever, this has been Matt.
This has been Luke.
And this has been the Sci-Fi Sanctuary. Shane, you want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye.
Laters.
Like an outtake, but it's like a really obvious one because we're recording it as an outtake. So go for it.
So the Doctor, right? He's the nerd. He's the weedy guy. He can't fight like the others. He's the dweeb. He's fucking ripped. We see him shirtless and he's buff as hell. And then like Mal as well. You look at his face and he's got kind of like he used to be a fat guy face. But he's ripped and jacked and stacked and putting up racks. Like, why... Is it a movie thing? Is this the Chris Pratt in Guardians thing? If you're the leading man in a film, you have to have 0% body fat, muscles of X size, and a shirtless scene? Because I swear, there's no way those two actors were in that shape when they were filming the TV show. That's not the shape you maintain. That's the shape you get put into for your shirtless scene. And then it's undone. Within the context of the film, there's no reason they have to be this buff. It is just that is how men in Hollywood films look.
I'm not ripped, but I used to be a fat guy. Do I have a fat guy face?
No, but that's why I can't imagine you as a fat guy. When you tell me you used to be a fat guy, I can't see it.
I see Chris Pratt as skinny Chris Pratt. I didn't watch Parks and Recreation much, though.
He's still got a bit of a baby face.
Oh, okay.
But no, you got quite a chiseled jawline, everything.
No, I didn't see a jawline until I lost some weight.
See, because I got the impression you were thin and then got fat and then thin again.
Right. But I didn't have jawline because I was like 17.
No, but I think it's when you're fat as a kid, then you get the baby face.
Oh, that's the Pratt face.
Yeah.
That's the Mal face.
Or Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan is so cut, but he's got such a chubby baby face. Maybe it's just genetics. Maybe just some people have fat faces.
Next
maybe
time, we don't do that yet.
Transformers.
Maybe that. Does Jackie Chan do any sci-fi?
He does. There's the one where he's got the tuxedo.
That's called the tuxedo.
Yeah.
Next time, the tuxedo. No, that's not right. Just listen next time. It won't be a tuxedo, most likely.